we go. Oh, well. Oh dear. Whoops. Hey everybody, the Reswirl here, and welcome back to more of Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. Alright, attempt number 2. Hopefully it goes better this time. Oh god, I keep forgetting to turn down my audio. Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? It's so big! It's a cargo hold, it has to hold cargo. This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and an ultra luxurious first class seating. So is this the real scene of the murder? There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct? Okay, let's get investigating, sir. Yeah! Alright. Well, things seem better. No, essentially, the emulator I use for DS games is, I don't know how you pronounce it, like Desmumi or something like that. I had 0.9.11 on my computer, and then the other night I decided to test around with Melon DS, which is like an up-and-coming DS emulator because this one's been discontinued for ages. Just to test how it worked with certain games, I was like, okay, this is pretty impressive. It lacks a lot of features, but it's pretty good. Ever since then, Desmumi, or the 9.11 version of it, or 0.9.11 version of it, has just given me nothing but issues. Like high CPU usage, lagging for seemingly no reason, and yeah, it's not been good. Which is ironic considering the other night I said that, you know, it's been flawless. But yeah, it just kind of sucks. So what I ended up doing was getting the nightly build, and I don't really know what to make of it. It seems okay-ish. One thing I noticed right away as soon as we came down the stairs is that one of these is missing, though. Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth! It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair. These must be all the leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after this flight is over. I'm not entirely sure what keeps appearing on his face. Whatever. This paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy. Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness. You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200? I think I'll pass. And Mr. Nero wonders why they don't sell. You need 2 jobs just to buy one. It definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments. Oh! What are these glass shards from? I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, I could logic them together, but I'll check around before a bit. Or I'll check around more before I logic stuff up. But the one thing I did actually want to say that I completely forgot about was this is the one reason why I actually preferred using the Wii U to play DS games, is because I didn't have any issues, performance-wise. And, I mean, the only issue with the Wii U is that not every game worked. It was very hit or miss, and also required a lot of testing. But at least the performance was stable. I mean, it is on PC, it's just, you run into so many more issues, and it's a pain in the arse. Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal? It's what the victim checked in, sir. So this suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look. There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir. Wait, a file? There's a photo of Miss Von Karma on it, in it, sir. Looks like a profile on Franziska. Why did Mr. Hicks have documents on Franziska in his possession? That is a bit weird. Why would Mr. Hicks have had a file on her, not profile on her? Talk to her and find out. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And then you immediately began to direct the investigation. Seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. Why at this airport? I've been following a very large and involved governmental level international crime. It's much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Oh. Interpol is involved? It's a top secret operation, so I can't really tell you any more than I already have. Of course. Well, now we can logic stuff together. Boink. Oh, crap. So the only downside was switching my my buttons around. I've got the L and R buttons on the triggers of the controller, and LB and RB is switch LCD screen and fast forward. It's the only downside because I've used this controller for all of Trials and Tribulations with a very specific control scheme. So changing it up just completely screwed me over. Right, there we go. It's quite obvious. I mean, it even looks like a lens, but it looks like there's more of that lens missing than is shown in the top picture, but whatever. They're definitely related. I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses. And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses' lenses. Ergo, the victim was here just as I suspected. So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. As an Interpol liaison. Now why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Franziska? Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss von Karma, sir. Franziska said that she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation. Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and he followed her. Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, Interpol agent Hicks. I think Franziska has some explaining to do. Oh. So, the truth behind Hicks. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Nonsense, what are you talking about? We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him, so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol Agent Hicks, isn't that correct? You should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. But it looks like they got to him first. So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. Alright. He went undercover to investigate this crime. And it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. But what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Oof. Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason, of that I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Franziska, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? I really love the music for this game. It's just so good. No, unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed. I see, but this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew, and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments are from his glasses, and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases and they entered the elevator, but while they were riding it up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks' body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What, really, sir? I know that you're thinking Miles Edgeworth, or what you're thinking Miles Edgeworth, but the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenero. Definitive evidence. If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is the keycard that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tenero. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. Right, so definitive evidence. I wonder if the microphone actually picks it up better than before. Wait. Oh, I'm actually pressing Y. I'm an idiot. Hold it! No. Hold it! Fine. I nearly pressed the LCD swap again. Hold it. I'm not used to having them on the triggers. That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Meal or even the captain. Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand, much like Scruffy over there. Can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well then, what about the other flight attendant, Miss Meal? I thought you might ask about her. Yeah. It's highly likely that the keycard was stolen from Mr. Nero. Of course. It's highly likely? Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father? Oh dear. Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence, Be quiet, you're a disgrace. Oh, bitch. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tenero, you know. It's not just the keycard that gives her away. You talking about the murder weapon, the Mr. I Fly piggy bank? Yeah, she's also the only one with a key to open that display case. The key to the display case that held the murderous bank. But that is a fake! Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that it's a fake... Oh, pardon me. Then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not surprising. After all, you know that we searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should be examined to help us further ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? What should be examined? The body? I mean, the only thing we saw was that there was blunt force trauma to the head. But that's it, we didn't... Like, the body hasn't been examined. Yeah, the body. Francisco, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions. Oh, was I? Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see? If the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon. Well, that's true. Scruffy! Yes, sir. Contact the medical examiner's office at once. I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks' autopsy. Or Hicks's. Yes, sir. Oh, there he goes. We've got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Is he coming back down? What is it, Detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said that they already know this one thing for sure. Report, now. The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. What the? From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back, he was beaten over such a wide area? I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. Pardon me, it wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. Oh. Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that's, Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective? Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless. Oh. Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there. No, you remove yourself from my way. What is all that racket? Who the hell? Oh, of course. My luggage, my cargo. They're mine and I demand you return them to me. We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. I suppose there is no choice. Finally, I think he gave... Hey, what are you... You left me no choice but to use strong force. You won't get past me. Oh. This is... Wait, that's it. So that's what this whole thing has been about. There is the matter of the key to the display case that held the murderous bank. Whoa, what's this? Is there some way for me to prove that this isn't the real murder weapon? Weapon couldn't be found. Nobody could find anything that could be considered the real murder... the real weapon in the hold. The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. Ooh. Oh. So, cause of death. If I put them together, they don't... Yeah, that's how I can prove. There's no way that would cause that much damage. Without, like, breaking. We don't know what it's made of, though. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. A sizable weapon, the unusually large area of bruising suggests that a very large weapon was used. The weapon couldn't be found in a sizable weapon. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally, it's too impossibly big to be taken into What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here? Franziska. What? What do you want? I found it, Franziska. I found the real murder weapon. You did? He really jumped. We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time. He might be hurt. We should go check up on him, sirs. There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit. It's coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening at all, are you? Come on then, show me this real murder weapon you speak of. I don't have evidence to show. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show? Perhaps I should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Hicks' death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I have figured out what was the real cause of death. Suffocation, freefall, strangulation, freefall. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. He fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back. Okay, I got confused because I saw back twice. The only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside the plane. I know. Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us. The entire time. You can't mean... Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold. What? Then... We're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey you, tell me you aren't dead, pal. Quiet, why are you screaming? He fell barely any far. Barely any far, what am I saying? He didn't fall very far. He's alive! And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? He would have been a Borginian pancake for sure. I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. The reality is that the cargo box is there. So there is no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but there is no proof that it was always there. Huh, as if there could have been a window of time when that giant box was not there. Ah, but there was. When we stopped off at Zhang... whatever it was called. Was it Zhangfa? Zhangfei? Zhangfa? I don't remember. It was Zhang something. Or Zheng something. What? What can I use to show her that it's possible the box was not always where it is now? The flight thing? Oh no, there we go. Refueling in Zhangfa. Made a brief stop from 4 AM to 5 AM to transfer cargo and refuel at the transfer point. Message from Mr. iFly. There we go. Take that! You refueled in the Republic of Zhangfa? Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zhangfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover, we also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. Ah, it's labelled Zhangfa Express. Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zhangfa. Okay. Now what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time? It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe to Zhangfa leg of the flight, making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched. then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. There we go. Yay! This piece of cargo. This is a rather large piece of cargo. Oh, it does say bedsheets. What a random thing. There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Aleph Red Statue. Never heard of it. Not right, but all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime. Then let's get investigating, sir. Oh god, this guy again. Oh, he's finally coming down. I was waiting for him to get red in the face. Look here, do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. Don't rush up on me like that, pal. So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. Okay. Okay, LeBlanc. LeBlanc's cargo. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc. Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This Aleph Red statue was worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much, much more. Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents. I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective. Dan, how did you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year. Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin. I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. So that 10 million cents, is it in euros or in dollars? Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It's a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching. Valuable... What else do I have in logic? Thrill of an international smuggling ring? Could I really put these together? I guess I could. But... if Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Zhengfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. Ah. Fake statue. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake. What? How dare you say my art is fake? I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here. Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once. Okay. I can't read this. What does it say? It says as plain as day, the cargo was put onto the plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. The statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate. No, that's... which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting there. Okay. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself. Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see I am right. This, I know I've seen this somewhere before. Isn't that in the picture? Yeah, I mean, no it isn't. I think he does have a fake. That does not have red eyes. Huh. So I've seen this somewhere before. This is the Aleph Red. It gives off such a feeling of art, I can practically smell it. This statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at a museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it. I believe a closer look is warranted here. So this is the infamous Aleph Red statue, What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something? There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Yeah, I can deduce the eyeball. The statue... the photo even. Eureka! Those eyes... Oh, these eyes are awfully orange, don't you think? Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir. I don't think you see what I'm talking about. No, I do, but it's really like the colour of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. Oh my god, I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms out until I felt ill. I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What colour are the eyes in this photo? Huh? Sir, they're red. As I thought. This statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc. What do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I will allow you 2 seconds for your answer. The Aleph Red, I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not? It's the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is going to be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but... What is that? Sympathy? For what? You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes. That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to yours. I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo. Why the sudden yelling? Now then... Oh... It is a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe. Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake. Oh gosh. A fake? I believe that even further examination will be required. Now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake, there must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhengfa. And I will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. Wait, what? Oh dear. No, I didn't want to deduce. I pressed Y because I saw Y. I don't know why I'm being so stupid. No, I need to press my X button. There we go. Oh! It was brought on in Zhengfa. Because this is the cloth from the thing that's next to it. I don't know if I need to deduce it. I think I can just examine. What's this? The statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbour's cloth cover. It kind of resembles its owner's attitude in a sense. Ho-ho! You, what did you said now? What? Further, my clothing's hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It's too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinate. Why should I forgive if the dress passes? Unless it is an expensive dress, you keep it. Huh? Alright, examining it doesn't seem to do anything. Oh wait, we have the cargo from Zhengfa, don't we? Yeah, we do. There we go. Eureka! There is clearly a contradiction here. What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. But if they were loaded on at the same time... That's not possible. But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighbouring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhengfa. There is no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhengfa. Ah. But then what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why, to secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. We could have just as easily inspected all of the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true, however, you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could not or could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport, it would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall onto the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. Ah. Oh. I guess the victim knew the real version of this was going to get nabbed, huh? Yes, while this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. So next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zengfa cargo... Hold the Zengfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe to Zengfa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer, move this statue immediately. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Now. Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the Alifred statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol and there was a reaction. Blood. I see, there was a reaction to the luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot. Can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood up well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up all the blood? The bloody cloth, of course! The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. You see, they had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zengfa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zengfa? There is no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zengfa, then this becomes highly suspect. Miss Meal's testimony. I think. I'll double check. It was in his seat when we took off again. Yeah, it's hers. I mean, it makes sense that it would be hers, otherwise why would we have it in our inventory? Her testimony. So, recall Miss Meal's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zengfa. I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 AM, you know. She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but that totally contradicts the facts, sir. But why would she lie about something like that? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Meal herself. Oh dear. I pressed the speed up button by accident. Whoopsie. Right, saving, because it takes forever. As per always. Oh, here we go. The lower deck cargo hold. Oh, they're not showing up. Oh no, some of them do. But they're solid. Oh, they look weird. Miss Meal. Miss Meal. Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zengfa? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible. Because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Zhengfa. Oh? Miss Cammy maybe I didn't see what I thought I did. No one could make a mistake so large, Miss Meal. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well. Miss Meal, if you please, tell me about your alibi during the time span. From just before we were to land at 3 AM and 6 AM when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. Oh, yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. And from 5 to 6, I was in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. Wait. She said she was in the same... Really? How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up. She fell asleep again. Looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. Wait, can I press on the ones where she falls asleep? Or where she's asleep? So, press that. I'm just curious. Miss Meal, wake up! I'm awake, I'm awake. Miss Edgeworth, I demand that you do something about this flight attendant this instant. Why ask me to wake her when you can finally put that whip to an appropriate use? I don't want to, like, actually object to anything. Oh, where was it? 5:40. From 5 to 6. She was not in the thing. Yeah. I still want to press everything, though. If I remember correctly, food was being served in first class and the lounge. Between the hours of 3 and 4 AM. Yeah, but that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda. Then what were you doing in the attendance room at that time? Eating and then having a most delicious dream. You mean you were neglecting your duties? No way! Sleeping's part of our job too, you know. I want to just keep pressing these ones because they're the best. How many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up! I'm awake, I'm awake. What did you wake me for, sir? Oh, what did I miss? A poor detective being on the receiving end of a lash in your stead. Really? Huh, sorry about that. You can make amends for that by continuing with your testimony. Oh boy. Right, well I can object to this. All by my lonesome self. Bullshit! Bullshit! Yeah, bitch. I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Mr. Nero bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says at 5:40 AM. Mr. Nero. Yes? Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness, so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Mr. Nero, between the hours of 5 and 6 AM, you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Meal there at that time? No. So, Miss Meal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6? Miss Cammy Meal. The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Niche calls, you know. Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true. No, but it's the truth, cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance? Won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Oh, right, again. Her eyes are so dead. She just really, like, has super dead eyes. Reason for suspicion. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you'd think, then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard, and the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Please leave Mr. Nero out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of like... I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Yes, she has feelings for Edgeworth. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. Right, okay. Because I'm one of the crew. No, it's not the only reason I have for suspecting you. Your statements regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies. But say I wasn't an attendant, you wouldn't suspect me then, would you? Yes, I suppose that's true enough. She's already being detained for further questioning, or have you already forgotten? Oh, yeah, I guess I just forgot. Cammy, don't tell me you suspect me too. Sorry, can't help it. I mean, other than you, there's no one else who could have done it. Can't believe you would think that. I mean, me, a killer? Miss Meal, what did you mean just now by no one else who could have done it? Yeah. And what are you in charge of, Miss Meal? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count. Oh, but I spend so much time in there, it might as well be my responsibility. Miss Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages. So she assists passengers who may not speak English. Especially those who speak Borginian. She is the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place? What else could I have meant? Yeah, so I'm really good at Borginian. She's fluent in Borginian. And I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian. Yeah, so take care of anything that has to do with Borginian. Very interesting. Yeah, such as the, what is it? The certificate that was forged. That makes her super suspicious. Right. Oh, there we are. All I'm in charge of are the attendance room and some Borginian stuff. Like this? So, your testimony... Wait, that's wrong. Wake up, this is a very critical point we're discussing here. We seem to be in need of an alarm clock here. Yes, if you please. Sure, to wake the one who gave such a sleepy objection. Oh! Oh, really? All I'm in charge of are the attendance room and some Borginian stuff. I pressed fast forward. Okay. I did the statue instead of the certificate. Right, okay, that makes sense. I'm just an idiot. There we go, the music stopped, which means I got it right. So you're the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct? Yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Borginia for a while. It's just a really long animation. If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? Oh! This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose. To lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Meal. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Aleph Red could not have occurred. Oh my god. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you. Oh! Okay, she's a completely different person. She's also blowing bubbles. I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. It is exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document. But you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There is no direct correlation, after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Really? All you did was sign it. I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So, sorry about that. Seems that she's finally woken up. This is gonna be one tough fight. Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that. If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring. And just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Mel, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. Oh god. So perhaps there is some element of a setup at play in this case. What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenero who is under their microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all the blame for the crime onto her, and this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Mr. Nero from the very beginning. Is it the suitcase? It's the only thing I could think of because it was used to move the body. Take that! The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcases. Or the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenero for the murder. Miss Tenero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made you with whoever was at hand adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavour, wouldn't you agree? I can't read. Endeavour. Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstances dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? Huh? What special dictated where the murder took place? The special circumstance is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Mr. Nero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Mr. Nero or myself, but you, Miss Camille. Only you and you alone could be the killer. Now she's gone back to her usual self. And? Oh no. Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. It's true. I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And there isn't a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for. Or isn't this a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something that I can't quite fit into the big picture. Oh, the phone! I'd completely forgot about the phone. Yeah. Well, I'm surprised that I actually forgot that. I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing, and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on. And that is the victim's cell phone. Franziska, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks's cell phone. Or at least, that's what you told me. That's right. But Agent Hicks' cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean, the killer took the phone with them? Precisely, I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Come on, get serious. Huh? If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We won't know that unless we try a little experiment, will we? Franziska, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Give it a ring. Agent Hicks' phone, it's ringing from somewhere, sir. God, I'm getting hung up on all sorts of words today. I hear it, Detective. Now where is it coming from? Over here. Sounds like the phone is up in the flight attendant's room. We better hurry to the flight attendant's room, sir. Really? The ringing is coming from somewhere in here, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. The ring is coming from in here, sir. What? No, it can't be. It's Rhoda's locker, I'm guessing. This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir? It's Miss Tenero's. I knew it. What? It's framing. They're framing her. So, Mr. Edgeworth, how did it go? Where did you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room. Miss Tenero's locker. Oh, in Miss Tenero's locker. What? But... Rhoda Tenero. I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me, it wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away. Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenero's locker at the same time. This is related to the keycard, alright. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. Oh my god. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one bird we cannot ignore. What should I do? Franziska's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then. Why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on it.
Hold it!
Ooh. What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. Oh my god, is that cracked? Oh no! The LCD is broken. Without a screen, You can't even place a call with this. Yeah, the camera. It's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of his smuggling? Francisco, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures? Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir. This looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case. If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. But the phone's all busted up, sir. Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. I'll find a way, don't you worry about that. May I go back to sleep now? The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken for sure. Oh, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Francisco? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. His phone still rang when it called, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. I love the music. It's just so good. Just get your phone if you please. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. Yeah, that's a high-res photo. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case. Hey, the Alifred's nowhere in this picture. But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right? She's right. There's not much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks's killer, sir. Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? I mean, I see a badge. No, like, I see that, but it also the fact that it says bedsheets. Trying to think. I can examine it. Boxes of bedsheets. These are still in the cargo hold. There's nothing unusual about them in particular, but I can't shake the feeling. If you're just playing around, mind if I go home? Yes, I mind. I need to focus on what's different now from back then. What's different now? I'm just like thinking, did I just examine somewhere else? Boxes of bedsheets. These are still in the cargo hold. There's nothing unusual about them in particular, but I can't shake the feeling. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do. Because I can't deduce anything, can I? I keep pressing the speed up button. No, I can't do anything with that. I mean, there's these as well. What's all this? Oh, they are cargo shipped from Borginia to Zengvar. So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zengvar. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere. One cluster of the boxes is written in Borginian. It says it is cloth in English. Cloth? Could it be? Is this where the killer... What? What is with that scary face? What for is that scary face? Miss Meal. Yes. It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that will point out who his killer is. Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth. The Borginian cargo and this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer. Because it said it was a cloth, it could only be.
Take that!
And what is that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I have finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Zengfa had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right, the killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Camille. Hold it. Huh, that's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Borginian. Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature. What? There was no need for the killer to tear through through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian, well then. Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. Bedsheets. Hey, it says bedsheets in English right on the box, sir. Precisely. And bedsheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say? So what are you trying to say? That if I were the criminal, this box of bedsheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? Bum bum bum. The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold. So they were afraid to leave signs that the box for the sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different colour. Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zengfa. That's right. That is why the Borginian cloth was used. The only Borginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Camille, you and you alone. Wait, what the hell is that? Is that the bank? It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we would have to do is contact the Zengfa authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. Oh no, I think it was just the teddy she was holding up. So what do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zengfa? Oh god. Breakdown? Oh my god. No! So she's getting beaten up by the bubbles. Bloody hell. Wow. He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here, he started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. So she pushed him. Oh my god. Aye. My godness. My godness. Goodness. Huh. Whoo, boy, we did it. I'm innocent. We finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir. Very good, Detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that? They're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir. She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for certain, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. Looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that... Well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. But that's... hideous. I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we here at iFly Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, man, no matter where you go. Can we not just give that to Gumshoe? I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir, but boy was it fun. Speak for yourself, my day was filled with earthquakes, elevators and false charges. By the way, where's Franziska? Oh, she's filling out some customs paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case. Detective? Can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier? You got it, sir. Wait, what are we doing? Hey, we're back at the same airport. Hope Springs. Franziska. I thought I told you when you first landed. I have no time for idle chatters. Or chatter. Not chatters. I have no intention of wasting your time, however, it has been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscences. Just who do you think I am? You are Franziska Von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing... is it P-Rot? Living her life on the name and fame of her invincible father Bilt. True, your father Manfred Von Karma didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry, I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there is another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent. He's a star among Interpol agents, and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows, you may even run into him one day. I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back in full. And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness, I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. Oh, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. Ho-ho! I think I'm going to celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight. Just how much did you cut his salary by, Franziska? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Franziska Von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war, they would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking. Finally. I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are... have you forgotten my voice? Miles, my boy? Huh? Mr. Amano. Ernest Amano, correct? So you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son. He's been kidnapped. Oh. Oh boy. Is that? Yeah, that's the next episode. Ah! Ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-ba-da-dum. A brand new episode has been added. The Kidnapped Turnabout. I do want to save. Be-do-do-do-do. Okay, so... Ooh! Oh, nice. Oh god, the question, do I do it now, or do I save it for another session? I don't know. It's weird. This game seems to be not badly paced. It seems to be a lot shorter in some situations. I mean, I've just come off of the heels of Trials and Tribulations, so that could be why. I think I am actually going to just leave the start of this for next session, which will probably be fairly soon, considering I've only done an hour and 15 minutes of this, so it won't put it very far ahead of the schedule, so we'll see. Either way, that's going to be the end of this session. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and until next time, take care.